You calmed down yet, Frankie?
I'm very calm, mate, and I'm feeling positive. It's come round so quick. All of those negativity that we had around the last game, mate, we can get rid of it all, straight around the corner. So I'm looking forward to it, mate, and I'm a lot more optimistic than I was feeling after the Brighton game.
Just before we get into that, Andy's been on the piss since 1. Andy,
rocking.
I hope you've had a few for us, mate, and enjoying yourself.
That's it, mate. That's it. But we do this, mate, don't we? It's the typical Stam sort of optimism that we always seem to get before we go into a game. And Kent's in the same light because he's going for a 3-1 to us tonight. He said, though, only if he plays Lanzini and Benrahma.
Don't all be confident, because I'm going to go with a 2-1 defeat.
Well, that's sensible, mate. And you're probably doing that because you fancy a bit of that £100 that we're offering if someone predicts the right scoreline, and then we'll do a draw on the phone-in show later on.
Well, I've got to be honest, mate. I just think I praise Saints. I think they're a good. And I said this in the tweet earlier, and someone said, "Why do you think we'll lose?" You can never predict nothing, but there'll be games that every team has. You look at and you think we should win that at home. And every Saints fan, sorry, I keep moving off. I'm just charging something. Every Saints fan and every Saints player, manager, whatever. Not manager, but whoever's involved with the club will look at today's fixture and think we should win that. And if West Ham were playing Southampton at home, we'd sit and say we should win that. And that's where I think we'll get beaten today. I just think that they're a good side. And for me, 2-1 home win. And I worry how we'll set up as well, because I just think. So
that's the big question. We're here. We don't normally do this, but we're here for when the lineups are going to be announced, because it's going to be hilarious if he does something like he did against Brighton. It will be a complete meltdown.
Dawson's up front, mate.
This is it. You just don't know. We are going to.
We've got a Saints fan in the building. The big G, Gavin Davis, is in the building. The big G. You ruined this. Yeah, go on.
Is he at fault for your hair loss? Is it the products that he used to use, mate? Is it?
He told me for years. Don't worry, Baz. It's fine. It's all right, mate. When I was side sweeping it and it was transparent, it's always been anorexic, mate, for the last 5 years, and it needed going. No,
so that was a bit of the news, mate. That was so here we go. X has said there's a lot of changes, so who knows? We will see. Another comment there. X has said there are many changes to the team, so that'll be interesting to see when it all comes out. Kent's put the Southampton gaffer is missing. Will have an effect, I think. I think you're right. However, when we had our manager missing, it had a real positive effect. So let's hope it doesn't have the wrong effect there. Let's hope they don't play for him or, show further commitment because they want to do it while he's not there and whatever. So that can work both ways, that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're a well-drilled side. I think they're a well-run club. Yeah. They come up the same time as us. They've had nowhere near the relegation battles that we've had since returning to top flight. They've always done all right. This established. No, there isn't a huge budget down there. Their demands ain't as high as ours, but then they didn't leave their ground like we did of late. They've had their bad times, Saints, from when they moved to the Dell to St Mary's. They've now got it a lot better than what they had it, that's for sure. And I know that there was bad times, in fact, times when they was getting support from other clubs and their supporters were outside with buckets trying to save their club. Now, I know they've done the same for Bournemouth. Gav will tell you that. It always reminds me how Saints fans, when Bournemouth were on the brink, used to raise money to keep them going. But back to tonight, I just think Saints are a well-drilled club and I think we're going to struggle there. And I think that's the Premier League. I think, as I say, there's games you look at and you think, tough place to go. If someone offered me a draw right now, give me it.
No, mate,
give me it. Because it's massive. But
there's an argument to have that any Premier League away game.
But if we had a fully strengthened side now, Antonio and Masuaku and everybody else, and that was our 11 tonight, I'd be confident we could go and get a win. I don't think we can beat them with what we've got available. That's the truth.
I mean, they've got their own injury problems, though, mate. And, we're in those times where other players have got to be rested. Gavin Davis has just said here they don't score many without Ings, so he predicts a draw.
Gav's big G.
It's not just it's not just one way, is it? They've got their own, injury issues. So we should still have enough to be competitive, mate. The only thing that worries me slightly about tonight, and I'm not overly worried, I think we can go and get something tonight, and I'm hopeful about this evening. It's just that I think the way that we've got results of late has been throughout working teams and being more committed and being running more and really putting ourselves about and sort of never giving up. I'm not sure you're going to be able to just have that against Southampton. I think Southampton are going to work just as hard, if not harder than we will. And I think they're going to be very organised, really difficult to break down, which we know we've been struggling to create chances. So it's going to be tough, mate. It's going to be really tough. But as Samzini just said, mate, we're their bogey team. We're not often someone's bogey team. It's normally every team we play is our bogey team. So, we have had good results against Southampton in recent years. So fingers crossed that continues.
Yeah. That I agree with, but if people think that we drew with Brighton last week because they're our bogey team, I think that's crazy. I think we drew with Brighton last weekend because of the formation and the team that the manager started the game with, and I think we got out of the game what we deserved. That's my opinion. I just think I think Saints have got something there now. I do. It's a local club to me.
Here's another one for you, Baz, mate. Steve Watts. Baz, you're a bogey team. You know it.
It's my darts captain. It's Watsy. New Milton Cricket Club.
This is what I'm saying. It's quite clear that this is your manner now, mate, because all the Saints are in here tonight.
They're all coming out. Oh, who? Yeah, look, Liam's in.
We're going to bash you up, Baz. Where's all these scummers come from?
They love it.
Play up, Pompey, play up.
You can't say that to them. They'll all start crying.
Are we going to get some thumbs down now, mate? Is that
I'll tell you what we're going to get. I'll tell you what we're going to get. I'm going to get all the abuse if they beat us tonight now because of you saying that. That's what's going to happen.
Good.
I'm going to have to deactivate my social media. No, I just think in fairness to them, I'll say it again, I think they're a well-drilled side. I know they've got their injury problems, but I honestly believe there's enough about Saints. If we try and approach this game tonight with wing-backs, false wing-backs, I think we're going to be in big trouble. And I do think that if you think you can play, and I'm going to give an example, nothing against the boy, if you think you can play Johnson at left wing-back against Theo Walcott, I think you're in trouble. And if not Theo Walcott on the right, Theo Walcott on the other side against Kufau, I think you're in bigger trouble.
The one that I'm happy to see out is Redmond, mate. I quite rate Redmond. I think Redmond's a good player, mate.
And the Saints have got good players. And it's like James Ward-Prowse. James Ward-Prowse to Southampton, let's be fair, and this is, again, not digging him, he ain't going to be ever in a top four side. What he is to Southampton is what Mark Noble was to West Ham coming through. He's a boy from them, although he started his career, and I think he's from Portsmouth. Saints fans will love that. Although he's from that way, he's Saints through and through now. And that, for them, is why he's that extra bit better. I say the same about, who was the player I used the other week? Wilfried Zaha at Palace. I think they're good players. I don't think they're quite as good as...
Mate, have you seen Zaha's record this season now? And how many goals he's got above all them other players who people rate, Mane's of this world? Mate, Zaha's had an unbelievable season. He don't get the
playing centre forward now. He's playing from the middle.
That finish he had the other night was top draw. Yeah. But look, onto the game, mate. I honestly think Southampton have got real good, good quality players. I wanted Redmond a long time ago. I think he's a great player. We've got players like Danny Ings that, Gio has always wanted and always had a real liking for Danny Ings. They've got some top players, mate. And but it does look like they have got some injury problems and some of those real key players are going to be missing. So it swings and roundabouts. What I don't want to hear tonight, again, is that West Ham had injury problems or we had to rest certain players and that's the reason why. Every team at this point of the season have got their own issues, mate. Southampton's got their own issues. We've got our issues. There's no excuses. We've got to use what we've got to the best way possible. And that's what it brings me on to now, mate, and what I really want to know. You've obviously predicted that it's going to be tough for us and you think Southampton might edge it. We're going to see the lineup in 13 minutes' time. How has that got to look and who's got to be in that team for us to have the best chance of winning this game today?
For me, you've got to play four at the back. As much as I love three at the back, if you're playing three, you've got to play three centre-backs with two full-backs. So 5 defenders and then a bank of 4 in front of them. You can't play wing-backs here. They're too fast. Nothing against Kufau. I've said this many times. It's not saying he's a bad player. If you play with wing-backs tonight, they'll find holes. They'll get in between it. 100%. And the way we'll set up tonight will be for counter-attacking football. For that reason, Mark Noble can't start. Certainly can't start in the number 10 role. Can't start. What's Mr. Mace done? I see you wrote a comment and I see you smiling. That's why I thought.
Ferrero Rocher disgusted, disgracefully overpriced chocolates. Probably pissed take how much they cost. I'm halfway through a box and I've been disgusted every step of the way. Well, it just so happens we've got football at Brownie in the chat at the moment, and I watched his watch along yesterday for the Crystal Palace game, and Mr. Brownie was tucking into Ferrero Rocher during the game. I couldn't believe it, mate. The Welsh boy from the valleys eating Ponzi chocolates, and now we've got Mr. Mace eating the Ponzi chocolates. What happened to the jelly deals and a bit of cockles or something? They're all on the Ferrero Rocher.
They got too much too. I've still got the shit box of Quality Streets. You know where you have about 4 chocolates, you like the rest of them go in the bin. When you get the old fudges, and fuck off, I don't want them.
Fudgy, mate, I can't eat them. Ropey.
I've got 2 days. I've had a terrible December. I decided to have a month off. I've had a terrible December food and drink wise. And as of the 1st of Jan, I've got a 3-month detox. No more booze, nothing. The poor little bump on my head, that's gone down now. Still tender. But yeah. So tonight, I think if we play with wing-backs, they'll find holes. They've got pace about them. They press so high. And they'll just squeeze it.
From Kent, mate. The 4-2-1-3.
It is that sort of formation that I'm talking about when I say 4 at the back. You've got to have fullbacks. And the 2 in front of them being Rice and Surchek to cover along the lines. Has to. And whoever the 3 are in front have to also protect your fullbacks. For me, the formation would be 4-5-1 tonight or 4-4-1-1, whatever way you want to do it. But the 4 would be Cresswell left back, Kufal right back, Ogbonna, Balbuena the centre backs. This is where people ain't going to agree with me, but my opinion, because of the way we play, needing to get out fast, Fredericks on the right of the 4, or the 5, sorry, who will also offer protection to your fullback. Bowen on the left, who will also get forward and offer you protection, as we know he does, to Cresswell. Rice and Surchek central, Ben Rama in front of him, and Haller up top. It's harsh on Lanzini, it's harsh on Fornals. But for me, that is how we have to start up tonight. I don't see, if we play Bowen and Fornals, I think Fornals will come back into the side tonight, personally, because I think it's an easy option for the manager and the
Do you
manager.
know what, mate? I've been thinking about that. We haven't heard anything from that yet, right? And I'm very surprised because somebody did say, can we go through the post-match interview with Moyes after the Brighton game? I don't think we should. I think we've moved on from that. I think it's about tonight. Mate, we normally would do anything that people want us to do and get involved. And it's, it is a community channel. And if you want us to talk about something, we'll talk about it. But I just think we've moved on from that. It was a muggy interview. Let's get on to tonight's game and let's see if we can have a better performance tonight. But for me, I think that was a real easy excuse for Moyes. He almost sort of dropped him reluctantly because everyone's been saying, look, he should be dropped. He ain't been cutting it. I think it's quite easy now for Moyes to turn around and go, see, told you got to have Fornals in there because Fornals, as soon as you didn't have him, we weren't the same side. Nothing to do with the 8 defensive players that we had. It's all, and I've seen comments with it as well. Don't play Fornals, look what happens. Do you put it all down to Fornals, mate, or do you think there was a lot more wrong with that lineup than just Fornals being dropped?
Mate, it's the same as things I've seen today. I've had a tweet today that, we've got one of the best records in the league from set pieces, scoring goals. We've proven we score goals from corners. And I tweet myself, I hope we don't witness that. Why on earth he's trying to change that, I'll never know. This is where I think he's clueless. He doesn't actually know what to do. And someone tweeted, and I'm not digging him out, but the reply I got was, strange how that's been when Noble's on the pitch. Now, if the manager is allowing Mark Noble to make them decisions, that's an even bigger worry. That shows how weak he really is. I think that's got absolutely nothing to do with Mark Noble. Nothing whatsoever. That's another excuse and a blame being put to Mark Noble. And this is why I say it time and time again, we have boo boys. There's another one. Because he's not the Mark Noble we all know, and we know from years ago, mate, the man himself admitted that. If you expect him to do miracles, you're thinking of the wrong stuff. Don't blame him for the bad decisions from the manager. Yeah. Don't blame Fornals for the performance that happened the other day. Everything that was wrong with Brighton was from that starting lineup. That starting lineup was picked by the manager. Nobody else. That manager picked that team, who said in his interview, I got it wrong at first half. Now, this is also the manager that said it was better second half. and there was a bit more creativity on the pitch. Why did it take you 45 minutes to notice that? Why did you have to wait? But mate, why did you have to wait to go behind to react?
The top managers, 20 minutes in, if you've got it that wrong, make a change.
Exactly that. And that's the problem. He relied on getting in at half-time at 0-0. Completely and utterly relied. We got caught out and we conceded just before half-time. You know what? And when Gary Neville says, I'm glad Brighton scored, that's for a reason. Because West Ham showed them no respect whatsoever. And you get what you deserve in football. And that goal, as bad as it might sound, being a West Ham fan, I'm glad they scored that goal as well, because it made him have to do something. Had to do something. If he hadn't, we would have probably witnessed.
We would have carried on the same. We would. Which is madness that you fact you know it's not working and you've got to wait for him to score. And that's the thing, isn't it? It weren't just going in at half time. He weren't waiting for half time. He was literally waiting for us to go behind before he decided to make a change. You know, if that would have taken until the 70th minute to go behind, mate, then changing it and getting the goals back would have been even more difficult. He was never going to change it until we actually fell behind against them or they scored. Never, which is crazy, really.
That's the difference between a good manager and a modern manager or an old... Mate, I fell out of love with West Ham and stopped going because of Pellegrini's stubbornness. Then I started going again. This man is doing exactly the same. I'm in fear. This man is very, very stubborn. I do honestly believe that. I can't knock the start that West Ham had to this season. I can't knock the finish they had to last season. And the manager and his coaches deserve praise for that. I'm not going to take it away from him. But if this is what's to come, hey, I promise you, I don't want to see it. Not at West Ham. No West Ham fan, I say no. Not many West Ham fans wanted Sam Allardyce for these reasons. Why on earth are you going to accept this? You know, there's a kid on Twitter, Alan, I think you had a bit of banter with him or chat with him on thingy. He's put out stats. The boy's right. I didn't mean that rudely when I said kid. He's a young man. He's right. He put out the win percentage of David Moyes and Pellegrini.
Same.
Now, I know Pellegrini had more money. I understand that.
But apparently he hasn't. Apparently Moyes has had 10 million more since he's been at the club.
Okay, I don't know. But either way, whether they've had the same money or Pellegrini's had more, facts are facts. And this falls back to the same thing. If the manager cannot manage with what he's got of that squad, then he's wrong. And it's the fact... For me, you have to be open. You have to sit and think, this can't be right. Things need to change. And I just don't think he does, in my opinion.
No. I think this is one of the changes we've seen today, mate. I do think Bowen won't feature today. I think he has probably been carrying a bit of a knock. He definitely doesn't look right. I think part of that has been the formation. I think he's having to try and force things to happen more because we've been find it so difficult to create chances. So I don't think all of his form has been down to him being a bit more greedy or whatever. I actually think there is the system that we're now playing. I think he's felt more responsibility to try and make things happen. So I think he's been trying to force the initiative more, and that's why he's been making a few mistakes or looking a bit greedy and not looking the player that he was for us. So, but I do expect Bowen not to feature today, mate. I don't think we'll see him, and I think that's for the right reasons. I'm hoping that Fornals has had his little break, mate, and he comes back full of energy today as well. I would like to see. Would like to see that,
mate. But the problem is he could get brought back in the wrong position once again.
Agreed. I heard someone question something earlier, mate, and I'd love to get your opinion on this because someone turned around and said, Souček is scoring goals from headers. Why isn't Haller? Why do you think that is? Because Souček is getting in positions. He is scoring headers. Does that mean that there should be no reason that Haller is not doing exactly the same?
Of course, there's an argument for it, and I've defended Haller, but in my defence, I'll also criticise him because I do think he should offer more. For the size of the man, he should 100% be holding the ball up more. His touch should be better. I don't disagree with that. I honestly believe the confidence has been ripped out of that fella. I believe it was with Anderson. I put that down to bad management for continually playing that player the wrong way. I know we've got no other option. I know that. But when there is no other option, the only option left is when it's not working is to change. That's down to the manager. You can't rely on one thing. And that's what we've done. That's why I say he's stubbornness. And someone put in here earlier, what manager ain't stubborn? I agree with you, but I'll tell you one who ain't, the Wolves manager. Because since what's his name's gone out, they've replaced him, but they've changed their formation and style of play to suit the new player that's come in. Because he ain't going to win headers like... Jimenez does and things like that. And that's what we needed to do. So when you talk about stubbornness, there has to be adaptation. I agree every manager should be stubborn and say, no, this is it. But when your hands are tied, you need to adapt. And we don't ever do. We do what we think we know. And if it don't work, just play with how it is. And that, for me, is a big mistake of the manager. And again, no disrespect to him because he has 100% started this season for West Ham very well, David Moyes. But I honestly believe he's being caught out. And now is showing to me why he's not a manager to take this football club forward. But I'll say again, under the current ownership, I don't think any manager could, and he's probably right for what we've got. But me personally, I don't want to be watching West Ham with 8 defensive, 9 including the goalkeeper, defensive players on the pitch at home against Brighton. And that is no disrespect to Brighton at all. That's a football match West Ham should be taking to them, and them coming to us trying to stop us.
The two perfect arguments here. Kent says Souček is a runner from deep to get headers. Haller doesn't come from deep. But then you've got Jimmy on the other hand saying Haller doesn't because he doesn't move him. I would like to counter Kent's argument there a little bit because Souček scored from East the other night.
You keep breaking up, mate. Hello?
One of them,
you broke up.
Hello, mate.
You broke up.
One of them actually had a bit of movement and wanted to get to the ball and was in the right place at the right time, which as a striker, you have that instinct. Normally, good strikers know where the ball's going to land. At the moment, to be honest. A lot of reports from what we're seeing, the lineups ain't 100% confirmed yet, but a lot of people saying Dawson's starting and Yarmolenko's starting. We'll confirm that in a minute when they're actually announced, but what do you make of Dawson and Yarmolenko in the starting lineup?
It depends on what it is. I understand it's a difficult time and the team needs to be. The team's here, mate. Fabianski, Fredericks, Dawson, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Rice, Souček, Fornals, Yarmolenko, Haller. So Bowen's dropped, Kufau's dropped. No Benrahma starting again. So I'm going to take from that.
So is Dawson starting above Diop?
Yeah, Dawson. Fredericks, Dawson, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Rice, Souček, Lanzini, Fornals, Yarmolenko, Haller. So everybody who predicted West Ham to win, I don't understand why I said no. I've got to get Southampton's lineup now as well.
So we've gone right on the turn, isn't it? Because he was dropped for the last game. And now we've got no Fornals again. So whatever's happened, forever to make the decision to drop him. Now he dropped him, he's got no chance.
Southampton, McCarthy, Walker-Peters, Stevens, Bednarak, Bertram, Ward-Prowse, Romeo, Walcott, Gineppo, Ings and Adams. And you honestly asked me why I thought we'd get beat before a ball was kicked.
Oh, Fornals is starting. Well, that's a comment come.
Fornals for us is, yeah. They've got Danny Ings. Danny Ings is starting. That lineup is filth, absolutely disgusting.
It would look like Fornals is going to play a different role today than what he usually plays.
Mate, honestly,
looks like
I can't.
Who do you reckon's going to be in that number 10? Fornals or Lanzini?
Oh, Lanzini. Lanzini be the 10. You keep breaking up. I don't know if it's mine or yours internet. Lanzini be the 10. Fornals would be the winger, and what it'd be another reason to moan at him for playing left midfield. Yeah. And exposing.
If anyone wants to come on and talk about the lineup, we don't normally do calls before games, and we do the phone in after the game. But if anyone wants to come in and have up, then drop us an email at claretandbluearmytv@gmail.com and come and have your say on the matter.
When someone says to me, "Isn't every manager stubborn?" They are. You're right. And to be that stubborn to ignore Benrahma once again tells me everything why he isn't playing for West Ham. And people ask me why I've got no interest in that man being manager of our football club. Do you know what I can't understand, and I don't understand, how we can go to this game with 4 attacking players, Southampton away from home, 4.
Come on, James, come in and chat it, mate.
Which we done at Stamford Bridge, but we set up at home against Brighton with 2. The man's off his nut. Honestly, he's gone. Yeah. This is for me, and it doesn't matter what the outcome of this football match is. If we get a result here, we've been lucky.
Yeah.
That they will press the life
see
out
what
of
you've
us.
done today. See what you've done there today, right? We talk about managers and knocking players' confidence, mate. Diop must be feeling disgusted tonight. That game tonight is screaming out Ben Rama, and not only that, but Ben Johnson as well. Because loads of people said, I didn't agree. I didn't think Ben Johnson had a brilliant game the other night, but I was happy for him getting the goal and happy he come through the game. But for me, Ben Johnson, if he did have such a good game, why has he all of a sudden dropped again now, mate? Because he should be fresh. He got a goal, done everything that was asked for him, and now Ben Johnson's sitting on the bench.
Mate, you can see exactly what he's doing. You can see it. It is going to be defend. And then all of a sudden, try and score from a set piece with 4 powerhouses in the box. Ogbonna, Haller, Dawson. Mate, you just know what's coming. It's just going to be boring
slow
again.
That team look as well. We've got T, who never comes on and has a chat, but it's easy to counter attack against Southampton, as they won't look for a draw like Brighton. Well, it ain't easy to counter attack the pace that we've got, because we've got
2 players. We've got 2 players with a little bit of pace. One, Lanzini and Fornals, and I don't think they're particularly fast. Not fast.
Well, Lanzini's not anymore,
pace,
mate.
Exactly. If you want pace, you play Ben Rama. The man's clueless, completely and utterly clueless. I said this after the other night, and this for me, it's a nail on the head. And he obviously doesn't want to sign Ben Rama. Or I'll tell you what else it might be. We had this deal where we have to sign him. This might be a case where he says,
I would agree with that.
This could be a flip thing.
Hang on. I would agree with what you're saying, that it might be if he plays so many games that the signing gets triggered and we have to put up the money. But, mate, he's only started 1 game and come on as sub in another 2. That's too early to be having to leave him on the bench already.
If the deal is we have to sign him, or the obligation, I don't know what the deal was, this could be for him to turn around and say, I don't want to go there, I don't play. I don't get a game, why do I want to sign for them? That saves them even more money. Mate, for me, it's embarrassing. That is another embarrassing lineup. Completely embarrassing.
I think Walker Peters and Bertrand are going to have a very easy time tonight, mate. I really do.
Mate, but not just them. Hang on, I want to see their team on thingy. It ain't even just them. Their front line will have a field day against us. An absolute field day. Gineppo and Walcott against us.
Yeah.
For me, it ain't no good.
And we're talking about Fredericks with the overlap. Mate, I don't think he, in a back 4 like that, I don't think Fredericks will be that far forward. I really don't. I'm glad Fredericks is getting his chance tonight, mate. I think he looked all right before he got injured. I think he deserves a chance to show what he's all about. So, I'm all right with that. Right, we've got James. Let's bring him in and let's get his opinions on the starting lineup as well. You all right, James?
You all right, lads? How you doing?
How we doing, mate?
Yeah. Tell you what, that's a shocking lineup, isn't it? That's just unreal, isn't it? It's just like Craig Dawson hasn't even played a game, has he, this year?
No.
With us?
He hasn't getting on the bench. 23.
It's terrible, isn't it? It's like, what is he? Like, I heard what you're saying about his stubbornness, right? I don't get it. I just look at it and I think, is he trying to is he? I don't get what he's trying to achieve. Like as West Ham fans, what we're looking at that and thinking, Walcott's going to have the time of his life, right? He's going to love it, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's shocking.
The worry for me is and I say this all the time, and I tweeted Trevor Sinclair this the other day. The game plan's fine until you concede, and this lot won't settle for one. They will keep pressing and pressing and pressing, and knocking on the door until they get the second. We struggle to come back from 1. We won't come back from 2. These are a good outfit. These are a good outfit. And Kent is bang on the money. Kent is bang on the money there about Ryan Fredericks. We've all questioned him as a defender. The reason we bought Kufau as a right back. And this is why I say it all the time. We bought Kufau as a right back because Fredericks wasn't good enough as a right back. We're now playing Fredericks again as a right back, but Kufau as a right wing back. Everything is complicated. Nothing is done easy and to your strengths. Honestly, I stand by this. The man is clueless. He's lost his marbles.
As I said to you the other day, right? You're making something complicated what don't need to be complicated. Again, what's Ben Rama got to do to play? Right? He's probably the fittest geezer in the whole squad. He hasn't even played the game.
And the same thing. You talk about players' confidence. Johnson plays last week, out of position and scores, and can't even get a natural start at right back after one game. And when who just asked me that, Paul, what are you going to say when we win 2-3-1? Paul, I'll say the same. The manager ain't got a clue.
I'll tell you right
now. He's got a clue. And I don't think we'll win 2 or 3-1.
Paul, we won't score 3 goals, mate.
No,
if anything,
not
we will be lucky if we get in at half time 0-0 or 1-0 down yet again. Because that's
I've had enough, Robbie. I've had enough, Frankie. Can't do this no more. I'm going to dash my phone, bruv.
Mate, just for me, I don't. We've been told by Watford fans. We do the away day radio phone-in football show on Saturday mornings, and there's the guy who runs the whole station is a Watford fan, and he said he spoke to people when we signed him. He said, you've done us the biggest favour that you could ever have done us, because Dawson is the worst defender he's ever seen on a football pitch, like the worst. And do you know what? I'm hoping that he proves us all wrong tonight, and I'm hoping he proves all them Watford fans wrong. And no, come on, man. We at the end of the day, we all want to see the best for West Ham. Dawson. Sorry, mate. Dawson.
Yeah.
So
I said this at the time. I hope he turns out to be the best defender I've ever seen at the football club.
I do, and I really do hope that, mate. But from what we've been told, it's a worry. A big worry.
Let's be honest. Like Diop was worth 65 million last season.
I know.
And now he's getting. Well, it weren't, but he was getting offered. Like they was offering 65 million. Now Craig Dawson, a free transfer from Watford, he's in front of him. It just makes no sense. Like,
mate, let's have it right as well. Let's not forget our manager in the summer didn't want Balbuena at the club. Our manager didn't want him at the club. Let's have it right when you talk like this. And mate, this is the worry for me. And I will honestly, I will sit and compliment him as I have done. But if he's open for praise, he's got to be open for criticism. And these last 2 team selections are filth, absolute filth. As a football club, as a fan of the football club, if you think that should be accepted, listen, I'm only a fan. I don't have a say. I have no influence. I have no power. I don't ever want that. I'm a fan like everybody else. But I have an opinion. I'm entitled to that. And my opinion, his last 2 team lineups are disgusting. And that isn't what's best for West Ham. Let me say that if this was Sam Allardyce, and I said this in this video earlier, people would be in uproar, calling for him to leave, whether we won or lost. Calling, I'm not watching this shit as a West Ham fan. Watch the West Ham way, blah, blah, blah. It would be called for. Because we started all right, he's getting out of jail. Not for me. The Premier League is strange this year. No disrespect to Aston Villa. Look how they're doing. And that's not being rude to him. The whole league's open. We're above Arsenal. We shouldn't be above Arsenal.
The thing is,
we should not be above them.
The thing is, if we carry on going the way we're going, we can drop like a stone. We all know it. If we start
Christmas decorations, we come down all the time like that.
Yeah, and then you got the FA Cup, right? And then you got like January and going into February, which are hard months, especially after Christmas. And we're lucky that we've only had Antonio out injured. Right, because and Joe, what I said to you the other day about any injuries to Soucek or Rice, what we've got to remember is COVID. If any of them 2 catch COVID, they're out and all. Or anyone in our squad, like if the goalkeeper gets COVID, or if like Ogbonna, the best defender, gets COVID for any reason, we are in trouble. Because if you're playing Craig Dawson in front of Diop, come on, that's just.
And we've seen loads of comments. Sorry, chaps, one sec. We've just seen loads of comments in the chat about Diop can't be 100%. Diop's had COVID. He ain't right. Mr. Macy's bang on here. If Diop's fit enough for the bench, he's fit enough to start, and that's 100% correct. If he's if he's fit enough to be there, he should be fit enough to start. And why Dawson's on there, I don't know.
Let's put it this way, lads, right? If Dawson is playing in front of Diop and Diop's had more minutes on the pitch than Dawson, how does that make sense?
Don't make any
Diop's
sense.
played. It makes no sense at all, right? Diop's played games this year. I can't remember what game he played. I think he played against Palace, if I remember rightly. I might be wrong. But Craig Dawson's first game for West Ham is on the 29th of December. And we are expecting him to go up against pacey wingers flying forwards in Southampton. I'm worried about tonight, lads. I'm generally worried. I think, if I'm honest, I love West Ham. I'm West Ham boy through and through, but I think we get rolled tonight quite easily.
But mate, I said it before the ball was kicked. I said it before the teams were announced. They're better than us. The way they play, they're better than us. They press us the way we play football. They'll press too much and too high and too fast. We will not deal with that intensity. I'll be shocked if Saints ain't in front within 20 minutes tonight. I'll be very, very shocked. And I think we've been all right defensively, but they will be on and on and on at us. And they won't stop. They're relentless. Yes, they tire in matches. I agree with that. But they're good enough to get well in front. And we ain't good enough, and we ain't got a manager who changes quick enough to get back into a game.
I think they've got
and back to the comment. Sorry, just quickly. Back to the comment, if you're fit enough to be on the bench, blah, blah, blah. I agree with that. But if you're on the bench at 80% fit, you shouldn't be on the bench.
No, that's right.
Because if there's a risk of you coming on and getting any injury and being out for any longer, Antonio's on the bench tonight. Yeah. If Antonio is not 100% fit to play for 15, 20 minutes tonight, he should not be on that bench. You playing for 15, 20 minutes tonight at 80%, and he has a slight niggle, whatever, and you miss him for another 3 or 4 weeks, that's another load of time we're missing.
Let me ask you both something, right? And then I'll let you crack on, right? Be honest, what do you think Moyes is seeing in that lineup, right? If you're the manager, what do you think he's looking at to get to the same again, get to half time 0-0 and then change it up again? Is that what you think he's looking at?
Do you know what the problem with me with Moyes is, mate? He we've said about his stubbornness, but he's also he's known to fall out with people quite easily. And when he falls out with someone, he just turns his back on them completely. The Diop thing. T just put in here, and we don't normally agree with too much that T's got to say, but he said it looks to me like Diop's off in January. I probably wouldn't put that far wrong, to be honest with you, because for Diop not to be starting is strange for me. I do think that Moyes has looked at it and he's thought he's got to change around. Players were getting tired. I can accept all of that. I can accept that the games are coming thick and fast and some rotation it was going to be needed. Yarmolenko, people have sometimes been arguing that he should play because he can offer something different, so fair enough. Lanzini, we've all said that he should start, so Lanzini's in there. For me, I've got to be completely honest, I am not totally confused by that lineup in the most part. The biggest confusion for me is the fact that we've got Dawson as centre back. That is what I can't get my head around.
But Rami lives matter.
Also the pace. I think that side, we've been struggling to create chances massively. We've been struggling for shots on target, and the side that we put out there has got such a lack of pace all across the board that I think it was screaming for Benrahma to be in there somewhere. But we knew Benrahma was never going to start because all the communications that have been coming out about how he's greedy and he's this and he's that and he don't pass and he's not a team player. I don't buy it for a second. I think Moyes has definitely got an agenda against him because it weren't his man, and that's why we're not seeing him. So, yeah, that's me, mate.
Tonight for me, and for me, the only way we get anything out of this game, forgetting anything going forward, is Declan
the lineup,
Rice.
to be fair, Baz, is the lineup you wanted. The formation, the system.
No, mate, he won't play that way. He'll play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. That's what he'll play. He won't play, as I said. And that personnel don't work for that lineup I wanted. Yarmolenko as a winger, that doesn't work because he ain't going to get back and defend. Not a chance. He doesn't have the pace to. And neither will Lanzini. So the formation could be right with the complete and utter personnel, so that's irrelevant. Tonight, the only way we get anything out of this game is Declan Rice being the Declan Rice we all talk about and love. He has to be head and shoulders above everyone tonight for us to get out of this game. He has to fill in as he did against Man City when we played them. He has to be covering fullbacks. You know, and he has to run. I'm going to be honest, let's be real, nothing against him at all because he's done it for us week in, week out. He hasn't been at the top of his game the last couple. And if he isn't 100% tonight now, 100% tonight, we won't win the battle in this. Not a chance. Romeo will absolutely bully Soucek off the pitch. Bully him off it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope, lads, right? I'm going to let you crack on, but let's just hope it's a positive result tonight because if it ain't, mate. There's going to be...
James, do you take the draw, mate? Would you be happy with the draw?
I think if we can get to half-time,
He's in again, sorry.
Right, if we can get to half-time level, get to 70 minutes and still in the game, then I would say get Benrahma on and hopefully nick a 1-0 like we did at Sheffield United. Other than that,
fair play, mate.
I just hope we just don't get rolled in the first half, because it can happen. Southampton. Look at Southampton against Man United, for instance. They come out the trap, blew Man United out. Man United have got quality players all over their front line, so they can score 3 and 4. We haven't. Like, we can score 1, maybe 2, but not 3 or 4.
Mate, let's hope. There's a few players in there that have got a big point to prove. There's a few players that have not been first-team starters that can show their worth tonight and hopefully make a case for themselves being in the starting lineup, and hopefully that goes in our favour, mate. But, we'll soon find out.
Yeah, it's just what it is. I would have thought he would have learned from the other day. Like, he would have seen it and gone, you know what, I've got to be a bit more attack-minded. And all his stubbornness and falling out with players, don't he realise that he works for West Ham United Football Club? He represents the fans. Like, us fans want to see the best team out as much as we can.
Them days are gone. No manager thinks like that now, unfortunately. I know what you're saying, but no manager thinks like that. There's no manager at any football club that thinks of the fans and what they want. No manager. He thinks of what they think of is what they think's right. And unfortunately, we've got a manager very old school, and what he thinks right's there. I'll tell you what I see from that starting 11, the question you asked. I see him trying to hold Southampton. Because, as I've said it many times, Southampton press you very high. Southampton are very energetic. But Southampton tired. And he will hope to get through till the 70th, 75th minute at 0-0 or 1-0. And then I think you'll see pace brought into the side with maybe Ben Rama, Antonio being on the bench. But I will be honest, for me, the only worry for me, I think Southampton are that good at what they do. It won't only be 1-0 if it's not 0-0. I think it will be more than that. And that for me, with David Moyes, because he'll hope to get that far. And let's be real, if it is that score after 70 minutes, 0-0, we have a chance.
Yeah.
If it's 1-0 after 70 minutes, we have a chance. We've got no chance if it's 2-0. And if it's 1 or 2-0 before then, he won't make the changes before then to be able to get back into the game. He will wait and he'll just hope it doesn't get any worse. That's what he does. That's the truth of it. We all see what was happening against Brighton. We could see they was the side likely to score a goal. We didn't change. We waited until they scored that goal.
Do you think it's worth risking Antonio coming on tonight?
No, unless he's 100%. If he's 100% fit and just needing game time, 100% I would. Mandy, can you get Mandy's comment up for us? So negative. What would Baz and Frankie do if we won tonight? It's not so negative. He's being real. Was I negative to say the lineup was terrible against Brighton? 8 defensive players, outfield players. Was I negative for that, or was I real? Because the performance resulted in what I said. What would I do if we won tonight? I'd be happy. I'd be happy the football club won. Would I change my opinion on that starting 11 tonight? Not a chance. Would I say the managers proved me wrong? Of course I will. I'm happy to do that. I'm honest. I've said from day one. I think hang on 1 second. I've said from day one. I think the manager turned us round after lockdown. I thought he'd done fantastic. I thought we started this season fantastic. He done well. I think the manager is now being caught out because I don't believe for 1 minute he has what it takes when you have injuries and players short. And I think we're witnessing that week in, week out. Without certain players, we cannot play another way. We can only play the way he knows. So it's not negative. It's me being real.
Go on, James.
I want to see Ben Rama tonight, mate. It's time to get the geezer on the pitch.
Don't be negative. You can't, mate. Don't be negative.
No, it ain't about that. Do you know what it is, though? It ain't about that, mate. Some people live in this bubble where, you want to go into the game positive. If we was all going to the game right now and we was all having a nice beer and going to the match and going to the ground, mate, you wouldn't be so negative. It's because you're sitting here, you see the team come through, you're indoors, and I think that's the point. For us to be positive, we need to see positive things from the manager. If we saw tonight that Ben Rama was sitting in there behind Hilaire, we'd all be sitting there going, do you know what? He's done the right thing. Come on, let's go at him. Let's all do something right. And I think that also rubs off on the team. I think when a team sees a positive formation, a positive system and positivity in the players, I think the team play with more positivity and confidence. Don't for 1 second think that by us having a negative reaction to the lineup, the players don't feel that as well, mate, because I think players do. So I think it works both ways. I wish we'd have seen us show a bit more intent tonight and play with a bit more creativity and pace in the side, but we haven't. But that's not sitting here saying we don't all hope that it goes completely the right way. No. We're all sitting here afterwards going, David Moyes is a tactical genius. Dawson looks like he's the best defender in the country, and happy days, he made the right decisions. I'm really hoping that David Moyes proves us all wrong and we go out there and win 3-1 and happy days. I really, really do.
Mate,
but
exactly.
all we're doing is analysing the team.
1-0 right now.
Mate, this is, nobody, including me, and I don't listen. I'm saying this now because I said it the other day, and I'm going to stick by it. I said this to you on the phone earlier, Frankie. I don't want that man as manager for West Ham because I see what he done that day, and I can see it coming, and I find that stubborn. The fact certain players aren't getting a chance is another reason I don't want him as a manager of West Ham long term. I think that's all we're going to get under this ownership. Doesn't ever mean I want to see West Ham do badly or lose. Never. Same as Dawson. All the slagging off that man's had. The day that man signed for this football club, when everyone was laughing and blah, 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 my tweet was, I hope he turns out to be the best defender I've ever seen wear our club shirt.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Dawson because I hope he does well for us, right? But when you got Diop on the bench and he was like a starter last year, Diop, and now Dawson's just come straight into, especially against a team like Southampton with their pace. It just makes no sense. That Dawson against Brighton, yeah. Dawson against Southampton, definitely not. Their pace is going to, in wide areas and up front, is going to make him go backwards. So we just say. But it's just
James. Thanks for coming on, mate. We appreciate it.
Good luck, mate. All the best. Good luck.
Take care, man.
And you, bud.
Mate, I do think when you look at it, and this isn't me trying to be positive because people have said we need to, and because people have dug us out and everything else, because the majority of the people in the chat, mate, are in exactly the same mindset as what we are. But I do think if you look at the lineup, Fredericks, I'm not the end of the world with it right back. I think Soufal could do with a break, and I ain't got a problem with it. Ogbonna in the middle, Cresswell at left back. I think Cresswell's our best left back at the club, so I've not got a problem with it. Rice and Surchek in the middle, I haven't got a problem with. Fornell's playing in there. I think it was right for him to come back in. He's had his bit of break. Maybe he comes back with more energy today. I ain't got a problem with that. Yarmolenko and Lanzini, loads of people have been making arguments for them, loads, and saying that they think that they should be playing me, Lanzini especially. I'm not so sure about Yarmolenko where he's playing, but I'll take it. Hilaire up top, we ain't got anyone else, so that's fair enough. So the only actual weird decision today is Dawson for Diop, but that's a massive one, huge, absolutely huge,
mate,
and it don't make any sense.
But that's when you say personnel. That's not the best changes for the formation. That's the problem. No, that is the biggest problem, and this goes back to, how poor must you manage? And do you know, this is the worry for me, right? If he come here tonight, defensive, which he couldn't after his last press conference, this is why he couldn't for his last press. If he'd come here tonight, I'd sort of understood, and to try and keep him out, and then to try and hit him after 70, 75 minutes when they'll tire. Because they will. 100% they will, because the way they play. He hasn't. So when it goes wrong, of course he's got in his locker, or if it goes wrong, sorry, not when, if it goes wrong, he'll have in his locker, well, I done what everyone said about being more attacking, and it's fired back. That's what will happen, and that's them changes are players.
Right. I agree with you. Do you know the two players who I'm fearing for at the end of the game tonight, and that is our fullbacks again in Cresswell and Fredericks, because they're both going to be asked to bomb forward. They're both going to be asked to create something because we haven't got any pace up there in Yarmolenko and potentially Fornells, who's going to. So those two are going to have to bomb forward in a back four. They're going to be exposed defensively, and after the game, all you're going to hear is Cresswell's terrible. He should never play for us. Oh, it was terrible bringing Fredericks back in. He can't defend. He's useless. That's what you're going to see. I can already see it now that after the game, everyone's going to be screaming at Cresswell and Fredericks and not actually thinking the way that they're going to be played tonight really ain't fair on them and isn't the best way to play them. I can see it now, mate.
Yeah, I don't make you wrong. I don't think you're too far off of that. You know, the attack minding of this game, for me, is right. I said that at the start. I think you've got to attack. If you sit back and just allow Saints to pressure, I think you get caught out. And I think you need to take it to them. The problem for me, and this game, if I'm honest, is a game I would have liked to have seen West Ham gone at them from the start. Then maybe locked up shop. This is the game for me, because they'll get tired and they won't be as quick, won't be as energetic to attack you. But my worry is, and you just said it with the fullbacks, with no protection in front of them, with a right winger and a left winger, because they're going to have, I'm guessing, I don't know. I can only guess Fornals and Lanzini without that what do you call it? The protection. I just see Gineppo and Walcott having a field day against them. I do, and not from their fault, but just because I don't. And I think they'll find the holes. I think they'll find
important
holes in
do
behind
you
them.
think the Rice Ward-Prowse sort of battle is going to be this season as well?
Romeo's the one, mate. Romeo will absolutely bully. Ward-Prowse will be busy, and Ward-Prowse is a little flick your ankles player. But Romeo's a bully. Romeo will push you about.
But isn't Ward-Prowse the player who's going to have the creativity for them, the one who's going to link everything up, the one who's going to play those key passes? Don't you think he needs to be stopped?
To a point, but I think you'll find Shea Adams come in a bit for that, and I think the fullbacks, the wingers will come in as well to help that play. I think you'll see Walcott make runs, come inside. For me, Ward-Prowse. Mate, this is another thing. We know what his set-piece delivery is like. He's second to none. He's probably got the best set-piece delivery in the Premier League. So they're going to be a threat from set-pieces. We have to be switched on at all times. You know, the marking of Bowen or Cresswell, who was ever at fault against, what's his name, the Chelsea centre-back who scored against us from their corner. What's his name? I can't think of his name. The Brazilian top player. Thiago Silva. If that's against,
however, Baz, go on. Sorry, no, finish.
If we don't set up correctly against these players, which could be why someone like Yarmolenko is coming in for them, I agree. We have to be right for them. We cannot give away any sloppy free kicks around the edge of the box either tonight, because he will punish us, James Ward-Prowse. He's good at that.
Mandy, I'm going to make a promise to you. You obviously said if we win, would me and Baz take our shirts off? If West Ham win tonight, we will do the show skins. Come on.
All right. So, all right. Okay. On the flip side, Mandy, if West Ham lose tonight, will you come on with your shirt off? I'm just asking. No, that's how it is, isn't it? Equal opportunities and all that. Frankie and Baz work for Amazon. What's that mean? Mandy, you in or not?
Happy now, mate. I'm doing.
Yeah, but is she coming in? Is she joining us or not? It's a deal. Mate, we could get a few viewers if that happens anyway. She in?
We would, mate. We would.
No, it's not cheeky. You asked us to take our tops off. And honestly, I've probably got, not rude, I've probably got a better rack than you. But you can see mine. You're hiding behind the picture of someone in a wedding dress. I've got a perfect rack here. You're asking me to get mine out. And
Baz has got double Ds.
Mate, they're bigger than that. It's grown over Christmas. Listen, and I'll say this, and I will say it, my hand on my heart, I hope and pray West Ham get a result tonight. And I do every single game. And again, I hope Dawson turns out to be the best defender the Premier League's ever seen and the best defender who ever put a West Ham shirt on. I don't wish anything bad of West Ham. The only thing bad of West Ham I wish is the owners. That's the only thing that I don't ever want to see people do well. I couldn't think of anything worse. I'd love West Ham to win a trophy. Could you imagine if it was under the ownership of these? You would not hear the end of it. Look what we've done for that club. I couldn't think of the worst than that. But again, tonight, I hope West Ham go. I hope they put a great performance in. I hope David Moyes proves me to be wrong, because I don't think this is the right lineup. Certainly not the right personnel for the game. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope we'll come out away from St Mary's with 3 points or at least a point, and we can sit here and say what a good team performance that was. Definitely. And how wrong was I? That's what I hope.
Arsenal for life. Thank you, mate. Thanks for backing us. Really appreciate it, mate. And good to see you boys turning things around a little bit.
No, it ain't. I hope Brighton smash you 8-0 tonight. But no, fingers crossed we can get something out of the game. Dawson, my prediction, I always do it, 3-1. Fornals or you all 8, Haller or you all 8, and Dawson, our 3 goal scorers. No, that's my prediction.
Like it, mate. I like it. I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham, mate.
Who's the fan's favourite, apart from Rice? Whoever the fan's favourite is, apart from Rice, to score an own goal. That's what my prediction is. Right. Let's get on let me go and get a drink and get this TV on. We're on in half
everyone
hour.
go and settle down. Look forward to it. We'll jump straight back on afterwards for a phone-in. We're not going to do a 2-hour one tonight because they've been getting well too long. And they're getting a bit crazy. But we will give everyone a chance to
If we win,
to have a
we
say.
get our ruck out. If we win, we get our... Betty looks like a silver bear. David Attenborough. Yes, mate, you know it. If we win, we'll be on here with our ruck out. If not, Mandy. Was her name Mandy?
Yeah.
Mandy will be. If it's a draw, we all will be. Mandy can be in the middle.
Apparently she's 82, mate. You've got to stop giving her a hard time.
There's no hard time. I don't care how old she is.
I'm winding you up. Old thingy though didn't fancy you with it, mate. I can't remember who it was now.
Block that thing.
Yeah, I keep blocking him. Scott Davis, he told you to hide the rack, Baz. He didn't fancy.
I think Scott seen him in Vegas after he kindly paid for me to go out of there. I think Scott seen me walking around with a rack and the gut hanging out. In fact, I think I took a picture of him.
Mate, I've just had a point. Do you know what we're going to do? We haven't done one for ages. We are going to do a charity bet. We are going to do £20 Dawson first goal scorer, header from a corner. That's what we're going to do.
I ain't putting it on. I've put the last four on.
I'll send it to you. You put it on.
Dawson first goal scorer any time.
Huh? First goal scorer, man. First goal scorer. He's going to run off like that, Baz.
To who? Not to me, because I've wished him all the best.
To all the fans in the ground.
He's going to run up to Diop like that in the dugout. Sit down, bruv. Sit down before I dash you.
Can you imagine Ben Rama come on and got the winner though, mate? Then he would definitely have to do that.
Mate, if he done that, I'd just stand there and laugh. I would just honestly, if that was me, I would just stand there and laugh in the manager's face for about 20 minutes.
Right, I've sent you the apple, so you got that. You got the apple, so whack that on. Charity bet. Happy
33
days.
to 1 he is.
That'll do. It's coming.
I ain't so sure.
No,
Right.
Luca, we like Diop. We're just saying it's just typical fashion that we're all sitting here slating Dawson. We've been told he's the worst defender in the world. And he'll go, I told you.
I've just had an alert that you've paid it.
33s does seem low, though. I've got to be honest. Mark's right. 33s for a player who's never played hasn't played a game in God knows how long, never played for the club before, never started. For 33 to 1 is very, very low. I thought he'd be 50s at least.
He's 12 to 1 at any time. First goal scorer. No one's 50s. Ryan Fredericks is the highest, and Walker Peters at 40s. Tell you what, who's 40s, and Bednarak, their centre back as well. He goes up from corners.
He does, mate. He
33 to 1. You definitely want it, yeah?
I definitely do, mate.
Each way on the third, on £680 going to charity.
That's it. Job done.
Hang on, I'm going to put this on. What charity are we giving it to? I'll tell you what. We give half to Isla, and we give half to the little girl Roger's been doing for Lucy, who we've just raised £2,000 for. We're on 680 quid. Dawson.
Yeah, I'm down. Dawson overhead kick.
Dawson from the halfway line. We're going to shoot from kickoff, mate. He's going to play a long ball and it's going to bounce over his head and everything. But no, we're on charity bet some.
T, sorry lads, a bit protective of my Moyes the other day. My Moyes. All opinions, no one is right or wrong. Absolutely, mate. And that's what this channel is all about. Everyone can have their say. Everyone's entitled to a say. We don't block anyone who don't think like we think. Everyone's up for the debate, mate. And we actually like other opinions because it makes it more interesting. We're not sitting here saying we're right because we're not. But we just tell it how it is and that's it.
Mate, you don't need to apologise, as Frankie just said. Come on tonight, even if it's just on a voice and not a video. Come on after the game and talk to us about it all and what you think was right, what was wrong. It's good to have that opinion, that debate. No one's going to sit here and be rude to you. We ain't even been rude to Mandy, who asked us to get our tits out on telly. You know, we've just asked her to do the same. So we're asking you. Come on tonight, mate. After the game, come on. It'll be a good crack.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. And don't forget, everyone, if you haven't already done your score prediction yet, go over to Twitter, put your score prediction on there. Anyone who gets the score prediction right will go into a draw during the phone-in, and we're going to pick someone out to win £100 cash that will be sent to your bank account instantly and give you a good start to the new year. So go and get involved in that as well. So thank you, everyone. We will look forward to the game now. Anyone who wants to join the WhatsApp group, we have a good bit of banter and a good chat whilst the game's going on. If you want to join that, DM us on Twitter, and we'll send you an invite to the WhatsApp group as well. It's always a lot of fun. And we'll see you all after the game for the phone-in.
When Haller, Fornals and Dawson have all scored.
That's it, mate. See you later.
What's the Twitter? The Twitter is at Claret and Blue. I don't know, Frankie, you know it more than me. At Claret and Blue TV, isn't it?
I will have to check it, mate. I will have to check it.
Yeah, I don't. At Claret and Blue TV, yeah. And it's and, as in the word and. I'm a Chelsea fan, but this is so much more calm better to watch than 8 people screaming at each other. Luca, it's all about having a crack and an opinion, isn't it? That's what it's about. Football fans. You can come on any time, talk about your club. We'll have a bit of that. We love it, mate.
Liam, Liam, if you
that.
email me your email address and I'll send you the invite on email. So email claretandbluearmytv@gmail.com and I'll send you the WhatsApp link via there, mate. Luca is a Chelsea fan. This is so much more calm and better than watch 8 people screaming at each other for 4 hours. Thank you, mate. Thank you for the support. It's good to have you here, mate. And there's no against each other on this one, mate. As much as we all like to get one over on you, and it's quite nice seeing Fat Frank struggling. Deep down, mate, I hope you all do well.
Right, let's go because I want to have a little look at this.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles.